But I want to welcome you guys all to the short course on forecasting for decision making, an epidemiological and ecological perspective. So this is an initiative by the Canadian chapter for the Ecological Forecasting Initiative, which is a network of individuals that are focused on improving ecological and epidemiological forecasts. So we're supported by the Ecological Forecasting Initiative, which is a grassroots consortium that supports near-term ecological forecasts. And I'm sure Mike Dietz is going to be talking to you about this later on throughout the week. We're also supported by the Data Science Institute at the University of Toronto, which is a multidisciplinary hub focused on data science activity, along with the Canadian Network for Modeling Infectious Diseases, which works to increase Canada's capacity for modeling emerging infectious diseases. And of course, given the room that we're in, we're also supported by the Fields Institute, and in particular Anya, who I'm sure you all have had emails from throughout the week, and who helped me even get this PowerPoint running. And the Fields Institute is a center focused on mathematical research activities, and they support training initiatives such as this one. And then finally, last but not least, we're supported by Apex RMS, which is an ecological forecasting consulting company, and who a couple members are going to come out here later this week on Thursday and talk to us about their forecasting work with decision makers. So I recommend that you guys check out all these different groups and organizations online, because there's a bunch of different activities that I'm sure will be of interest to you. So this short course in particular was organized by these individuals that you see up here, and I'm just going to ask each of them to wave who are here. So hello, I'm Corinne Bodner. There is Chris Brimacombe right here, Karina Rowan-Frykowski over here, Marie-Josée Fortin, who is over here, and Sharmista Mishra, who unfortunately couldn't join us for the week. But the rest of us will be hanging around here for most of the week. So if you want to talk to us about the short course or have any other questions, even about Toronto, we're all locals, we're happy to chat with you. So we have four main instructors for the course, and that's Brooke Davis, Mike Dietz, Mike Irvine, and Irina Pabst, and they're going to give you their introduction about them and their research just at the end of this short presentation. We also have Cole Brookson, who will be introducing himself later, but he's going to be our teaching assistant for the course. We also have a few guest lecturers that are going to be joining us throughout the week. So we have Colin Daniel and Alex Filizola from Apex RMS, who are going to be joining us on Thursday. We also have Beata Sanders from the University of Toronto, who's going to be talking to us about decision analysis and communicating with decision makers. And then later today, we also have Freya Olsen, who's going to be talking to us about the forecasting work with water quality. And then finally, on Friday, we have the First Nations Information Governance Center is going to talk to us about data sovereignty. So I'm sure you guys have already all been on here, but this is our GitHub repository that you're going to be using throughout the week. It's going to have all of the course materials. So if you have not yet been on it, which I doubt that, but if you haven't, please go on there, check it out, see what we have up online. More will be added throughout the week. And just to give you an idea of what each day will look like, we have 3 different activity spots. We also have 2 coffee breaks and a lunch break. So we won't have coffee first thing in the morning, but we will have coffee at 10. So just make sure you're properly caffeinated until that point in time. So this is what our schedule looks like. This is all up on the GitHub repository, so I'm not going to leave this up for long, but you can find all of this information there. But just to highlight, we have 3 different activities. So we're going to have lectures, exercises, and group work. So for the case study group work part, there's 3 different case studies: the water quality monitoring, fisheries management, and infectious disease control. All of you have each been assigned already to a specific case study, so that's the one you're going to be working on for the week. And in addition, you're going to be assigned to a team, which has been done already, and you would have seen on the Google spreadsheet that I sent out. And so your team number indicates which team that you're on. And if you didn't see it on the Google spreadsheet, you can also find it on the participants team number PDF that's up on the Google repository. So please, again, remember to add your GitHub username to that Google spreadsheet that I sent out by email. This is really important. If you haven't done so, please do so as soon as possible. We're going to be using this to set up forks so you can contribute to it. And each participant will only be able to contribute to their team's fork. But this needs to be done. Karina and I are going to set it up today. So again, please do it now if you have not done so. And just so you know, sort of the expectations for the week, and don't worry, it all doesn't have to be done today. This is going to be a work in progress, but essentially by the end of the week, you and your team are going to present your forecasting model for your specific case study. And presentations will be 8 to 10 minutes long and about 5 minutes for questions. And by the end of the week, we sort of expect that you should push to your GitHub fork a copy of your presentation slides, so in PDF format, your code and the forecasting model materials. And again, we're giving you some baseline code, so I hope this isn't too overwhelming. And also a README file with a lay summary. So again, I'll remind you of all of this later in the week, but just to give you a heads up now of the expectations. And so again, an exciting activity in the evening on Thursday night, we're gonna have a group dinner. I know a couple of you are unable to make it. That's perfectly okay. Please let us know if there's anyone else who's not able to make it. Otherwise, we're excited to be able to do this as a big group. And so just a couple things about logistics. So first of all, lectures and exercises are gonna take place in this room right here. There's an extra room that's just across the way, room 210, and this is also going to be available for group work. So today, the water quality groups, they're going to be in there, but after today, this is going to be like an open space, so any groups, any teams can go and work in there as well. And each day we start at 9 a.m., but the door should be open a bit earlier, as you guys found today. And just so you know, at 5 p.m., the doors here will lock. I know we go to 5:30, so we are allowed to stay, and you can stay longer than even 5:30, but just know that if you exit out the exterior doors, you won't be able to get back in unless someone else lets you in. And just make sure, please don't like prop open the doors, and even if you stay longer in one of these rooms, we need to make sure that we close them and lock up. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, and speaking of later in the evening, I know we're providing lunches for you guys, but for dinners, just to let you know, there's tons of great food options just south of here. This is the most important stuff, right? So there's Chinatown and Kensington Market with tons of different food options. If you want vegan options in particular, Karina over here, I'm sure can give you some fantastic options. Just in addition, we also have the TTC, which is our subway system. So anyone from Toronto, all the organizers, we can give you info on any of this. So please come and ask us if you want to know more. Okay, and so without further ado, I'm going to get each of our instructors and our TA to just give you a very, very brief introduction of themselves. So just in alphabetical order. Oh, yes, thank you, Marie-José. Also, everybody, please make sure your phones are off, or at least on silent mode, and same thing with your computers, because we are recording these sessions. Thank you for the reminder, Marie-José. Okay, so we're gonna get each of our instructors in alphabetical order just to give them a little bit of an introduction to you guys. So first of all, Brooke Davis, I'm gonna hand you the mic. Excellent. There you go.
Morning, everyone. Hello, it's on. Okay. Hi, I'm Brooke Davis. I'm with Fisheries and Oceans Canada. I'm based in the Vancouver area. Just a quick journey through my past, journey through acronyms starting with Q. I did my undergrad at SFU in environmental science in a program called Quantitative Techniques for Resource Management. My master's from another Q program, QUERM, Quantitative Ecology and Resource Management. And now I find myself in QAMS, Quantitative Assessment Method section. So my third Q acronym. So I lead a program called Salmon Decision Support Tools. We work on various projects when there's some quantitative support needed, usually around building some sort of modeling tool to be used for decision making. So right now, a big focus is on developing methods for meeting Fisheries Act reporting requirements, so determining fish stock status. Right now, working on building a fishery planning model to avoid endangered fish stocks. improving species composition estimates from hydroacoustic sites in the lower Fraser River. So some of you probably have heard of Fraser River salmon. We love to eat them, but they are not in great shape. So there's a lot of effort that goes into in-season estimation of the various stocks. And then another thing I do that's kind of a pet project is I am the Pacific region rep for a program we have at DFO called Technical Expertise in Stock Assessment, where we run training courses kind of like this for DFO staff. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, I'm Mike Dietz from Boston University. Okay, cool. That's me. There's the kiddos and better half. So I spent better part of the last 20 years working with the land component of Earth system models. This is an example figure I'll dive into more as an example of the abysmal state of the art of forecasting the land over long timescales. These are projections out to 2100, kind of standard IPCC stuff. Spent a lot of time within that working on how we integrate models and data, developing a project called Pecan, and then kind of both develop a personal mission to kind of take this expertise and how to bring models and data together and expand it out beyond just my work on the carbon cycle to other parts of ecology, but also kind of a realization that as great as projections to 2100 are, you don't ever get to go to 2100 to check if you're any good at predicting to 2100. So kind of refocused a lot of my research in the past, gosh, I guess about 7 years now, on kind of more near-term iterative forecasting methods. This led to the ecological forecasting book in 2017 and the launch of the Ecological Forecasting Initiative in 2018. Which I've served as the chair and director of its whole existence. Eventually, I will rotate out of that position. And in addition, I've been very involved with the US's National Ecological Observatory Network, which we'll hear about later. I'm still on their steering committee. I chaired their steering committee for a while. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Irvin. I'm a senior scientist working in the British Columbia Centre for Disease Control. You can tell from my accent that I'm not originally from British Columbia, but in fact from the UK. So my background was in applied mathematics, primarily in complexity science, which is a term which has sort of fallen out of fashion a little bit. So it's sometimes hard to explain what that PhD was actually about. But then moved on to working more in sort of public health activities. First working with a project sort of funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation around the guide to tropical disease mathematical modeling, and then sort of moving around various sort of institutes within BC, eventually winding up within the BC CDC. And so my work is essentially sort of applied to public health sort of problems, primarily sort of related to infectious and non-infectious disease. Interested in a whole range of things. Come talk to me about it if you're interested. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And Irina?
Hi, everyone. My name's Irina. I'm also a senior scientist, but at the Public Health Agency of Canada. I work in the Public Health Risk Sciences Division, the National Microbiology Laboratory. So I'm actually based out of Guelph, where we have a lab, but most of the people in my branch are in Winnipeg. I also realized after looking at Mike's slide that I forgot to put that I'm an adjunct prof at McMaster. So looking maybe for students to collaborate with if you're at Mac. I did my PhD at the Center for Applied Math at Cornell. I worked on infectious disease modeling, and then I wanted to leave it, and then the pandemic happened, so I continued to do that work. I guess now that's my primary research interest, but in general, I'm interested in math modeling of biological systems, especially where there are humans involved. And in general, I really care about reproducible and open research, automation, being smart at how you work, especially in technical fields, and our package development. So hopefully we'll get to chat about that this week as well. And I guess on the lighter side, I really like making things with code or without. So I really like cooking, crafting, design, that kind of stuff. So if you have any good crochet patterns, let me know.
Thanks, Irina. So last but not least, our TA, Cole Brookson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cole. I am soon to be a PhD student at Georgetown University. I did my undergrad here at the University of Toronto, what feels like many years ago now. My master's research had nothing to do with infectious disease at all. I come from working on food webs, actually, and a little bit of ecological theory, moving into forecasting vector spread of different types of infectious diseases. But for the last almost 2 years now, I've been working with the Kitasoo First Nation and the Broughton Aquaculture Transition Initiative, thinking about how sea lice, which are these like nasty little ectoparasites, affect returns of wild salmon on First Nations territories, and a little bit of forecasting work there. The reason that I'm here is because I also do a lot of random coding stuff. I worked for a while for the University of Toronto building an R manual. I'm starting to work a little bit with the folks who came up with STAN to increase their sort of educational capacity. And I've worked with the Carpentries for a while now, doing instructor stuff with them. So if you have questions that are more about the coding and less about the theory about forecasting, I can help you with that.
Awesome, thanks, Cole. Okay, so we're gonna switch over now to Mike Dietz' presentation on why really we should even be caring and doing forecasting. So we're just gonna take 1 minute to switch over. If you need to run to the washroom really quick, now's the time.